Good evening, this is Kuro. Got a Tier 9 game in my Leningrad, going over the matchmaking. Got a bunch of fat boats. Um, Alaska is a radar threat. Edinburgh might be radar, most likely smoke though. Indianapolis, destroyer threats. Yagumo, Benson, Terrible, and Minsk. And this video kind of half doubles for how you play a Minsk, with the exception of the torpedo game that you have with Leningrad. Um, you've got 8 kilometer torps. Minsk has 4 kilometer torps. That's kind of offset by the fact that Minsk actually has easier guns to work with. This captain, you need, or Leningrad, in my opinion, needs at least a 12-point captain. You really do need expert marksmen to make this thing work. This is actually one of the what is it, Zeminski or whatever the captain is, with the enhanced preventative maintenance and the enhanced expert marksman. I went on ahead and made this captain a low tier, mid low tier Russian gunboat captain. And this is, I believe, a 17-point captain, but the guns are pretty much maxed out, and this is full gun spec, no concealment, no nothing. And you're going to see, the kind of what I'm looking at. And just gonna pause it right here. My why I've held up there. I'm basically using this Yukikaze to try to spot things up here. Either that or the Seattle radar. Same thing with the Cossack. I'm in between two destroyers that have really good concealment. I've got crap for concealment, but I've got guns that they perform pretty well. I haven't played Leningrad in ages, so my initial shots are all over the damn place. Uh, but you're gonna see, you know, this flanking behavior where you really can distract teams and just just take fire and pressure away from your team. Um, Couple different ships are shooting at me. Nobody's really even come close to touching me. Now I should note in this game, one of the things that I'm going to struggle against is the fire chance. There's no there's just no way around it that when you are bottom tier, you're going to have a hard time dealing fire damage to top tier battleships in particular. So it's one of those things that, I think once I get this captain to 19 points, I might put demo expert on it at the expense of adrenaline rush, maybe. I got to look to see how I want to do this. Um, I don't want to give up last stand. I know some guys prefer it, but if I have to go in and clean out a cap later in the game, I do want last stand. So I'd have the luxury of repairing a gun or something to that effect. Here I'm just going to work on this Alaska, trying to pull fire off my Baltimore, who he's overextended. This guy's probably going to be in trouble here shortly. Now this is one of the objectives that you're going to want to do with this ship is in this configuration, you do have the option of running Concealment Expert, and you can bring your concealment down to 6.6 kilometers, which it's on par with Sims, so it's pretty good. Uh, little better than a Mahan. But in my opinion, this ship is best spent, working the flanks, uh, just trolling the enemy team. Finally, they're gonna start shooting at me. I've gotten close enough, and I mean this ship is agile as hell. I mean you're gonna see that through this game. It's almost brokenly strong how agile this ship is. And oh, by the way, everybody's been shooting me. I'm just gonna slam on the brakes. Okay, I'm gone. Only a Russian destroyer. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I do that in the Japanese DDs all the time. Now here, this Alaska's, he's just getting a little too close for comfort. Gonna throw my torpedoes out there since he's pushing into me. And I'm just gonna kite away. Unfortunately, this Alaska, he also started slowing down. I'm starting to shoot, trying to bait this guy to push into me some more. But this is how you use those torpedoes. You wait till somebody's pushing you, and you can use your concealment, get in front of them. Man, that would have been nice if I'd have got a hit there. That'd have been a nice flooding, and maybe have a chance at fire. Who am I kidding? This is what I mean by shooting at tier 9 ships. It's really rough to get fires, especially if you don't have demo expert. I haven't really been able to get broadsides of the ships to use AP though, so it is what it is. Finally get my first fire, but I pretty much have to just keep falling back. There's too many ships over here on CCAP. I am trying to help my team finish off that Edinburgh, who gets blasted by the Musashi. It helps if you hit the target. Now I'm in a situation, this Musashi, he's gonna be able to spot. So I'm popping my first smoke, anticipating that I'm gonna be able to use it for a minute here. The problem is this Musashi keeps just staying broadside, and he gets nuked. He was pretty much full health a minute ago, and he just gets evaporated. So I am gonna try to get what I can on the what is that, Soyuz. Alaska's shot, he's pushing up, so just gonna keep trying to deal whatever sort of damage I can out of this. All of a sudden I'm the Lord of Fire. It's what I don't like about RNG reliant builds. It can be really sketchy if when you really have to do damage, sometimes it just doesn't work. RNG just says no. So, gonna resume my harassment campaign. I think the enemy team is mainly focusing on ships in and around B-Cap, and this is going to give me an opportunity to open up on ships. Now, uh, I should be shooting this Benson. Really should. Even if I got an unrepairable fire on the Soyuz, it's just not going to burn quick enough to really matter. Throwing some torpedoes out here. Maybe I get lucky. If you can look, you can see that my torpedoes actually extend into the cap. So you get an idea when you launch those how far. I'm predicting that this guy's basically going to try to stay in the cap and try to make this turn along the edge of the cap, and that's going to open him up for torpedoes. So that was my thought when I launched those. Instead, he's sailing right out of them. I do land one torp, I do get the flood, and I think this King George is going to flood for a bit. Just going to keep pouring it in there because this is the time you really need to get that damage dealt. Got one fire trying to hit the rear portion of the superstructure, or the stern of the ship. See if I can get the second unrepairable fire. There it is. You can see just how fast that damage stacked up with that flooding on top of the fire. So it's one of those things. This is how you. It's the stereotypical Russian gunboat play style. Just using your fire chance, using floodings, using all of these tools to your advantage to create pressure on the enemy team. And if you look, this King George, he's basically fleeing for the safest regions of the cap, just because he's under so much pressure. And that's the impact that this ship has on on ships. I mean, you can see this is not an easy target to hit at 12 kilometers. I've actually contemplating dropping AFT on it like I do with Gremiashi. At the end, it was just the battleships are too accurate at tier 9, tier 8, tier 9 that 12 kilometers of range just isn't enough. Helps if you can aim. Now, one thing to notice is the spotting damage. This is what I call active scouting. I know that Terrible's approaching here. I want to get a piece of him. Shame we're both so fast, because I might have been able to kill him with that next volley. But this is what I mean. I've speed tanked 1,000,000 potential damage, but I've also done over 100,000 spotting damage plus 100k damage as a bottom tier destroyer, and that is that really, helps your team, and that can show you just how strong this destroyer can be in tier 7. I mean, here I'm actually trying to smoke up. This Terrible's going for YOLO Torps. Did not expect him to do that. Um, if I expected him to try to throw a ship away like that, I would have just sat there and just killed him when he opened up. But it happens. Now here, I'm only 8 kilometers away. I am going to take damage at this distance. But this game is close, and I'm trying to get what I need to finish this ship off, or finish ships off. Screwed up and turned into that shot there. You always want to try to present your stern, well, in most cases, to the ship shooting at you. You can see some of the AP DPM here. Broadside cruiser, doesn't matter, it's 10 kilometers away. Russian AP is still nuts. Switching to HE simply because he's angling. Now here, I was gambling that he was going to try to aim out like I was going to turn out like I had been doing, and he hit me clean. He was just kept aiming at where I was, or where I was heading, when he pulled the trigger, and he hit me fair and square. So that's a risk that you run when you're dodging this much. You're gonna take hits eventually. That one basically made me combat ineffective, outside of being able to spot, cap, and maybe torp. So I'm pushing back in here. I know the Yagumo's still sitting in B cap. The Indianapolis puts down well, and that's the game. This is going to be another loss. But talking about Leningrad, it's a pretty solid ship. It's freaking a rocket ship. If you need to get around the map in a hurry, this is going to be the ship to do it. At least until, I don't know how fast one of the Frenches are. They're all under NDA, so I couldn't disclose that anyway. But yeah, this ship it's going to be a lot of fun if you like the Russian playstyle. And Minsk could do everything here except torp like I'm doing. And it's easier with Minx to have demo expert, simply because last stand is not as big of a requirement, and that's why I feel that Minsk has better guns. Unfortunately, torpedoes came up a whiff there. I am going to try to get cute here with my smoke, try to get whatever little damage I can out of this. They miss. Taking some perspective shots. Do get radared, and this is going to be the end of me. Bloop. 114,000 damage. But this is Leningrad. At least the full gunboat variety. So always nice when you're bottom tier and you easily top the XP charts. Good job, team. Hopping over to the detailed report, um, we can take a look. And I mean, 115,000 spotting, almost 1.5 million damage tanked in a bottom tier match. That alone can tell you some of the carry potential that this destroyer can have as far as opening things up for your team. Uh, it's one of those things you push in, you spot the battleships, you just start shooting, and outside of Chapiev, um, and some of the cruisers with the faster guns, um, all you're going to be doing is just baiting them into shooting you. They shoot you, you obviously are able to spot them for your team, and your battleships farm them. That's the recipe for success. So yeah, this is Zeminski. I did include this page so you could see a little bit on the rewards and stuff, because I can't believe off the top of my head if I've done a Leningrad game or not. Um, I've played it before. I've actually recorded it before, but I'm not sure if I actually uploaded it or not. So if you guys have any questions or comments about Leningrad or Minsk, if you want build information, stuff like that, just leave it in the comments below, and I will answer it to the best of my ability. Hope you guys are having a good night, and I will talk to you later.